Good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? Hey, Kevin. All right. How are you guys? Hey, Tersey. There's got to be Tersey. I'm going to talk to the guys. I don't take care of any of the back end for the site, but I'll talk to them. Maybe they think there was a glitch with LaunchPass or something. Hey, Dan, Terrence, John, JB. How are you guys doing? Welcome to everyone who's joining us on YouTube. And we're going to start. Take a look at the larger term picture here. Now, yesterday I kept saying that there's a seller every time we get up to 5504 in that neighborhood of 5500. There was a seller, and the last 2 days, simple stuff like the highs are lower, which means the sellers are competing. And I said if it does a look above and fail of 5465, we're going to go lower. And we're in fact gap lower now, right? One of my larger guys took this trade and he was shorting just in this 64 to 60 area. And he actually held the trade and made, it was a really nice trade. So that look above and fail, not only does it work on a 1 minute candle chart, the concept is the same and that sellers are competing. And he was short in the 54.60s, maybe in the 50s, and he covered, he texted me that he covered in the 78s this morning. He didn't get the low, but he covered in the 78s, and so you can build this trade out, and that was a nice trade. That was a heavy duty trade that that made his week, right? This isn't a cold chart. What are you doing, clown? What's going on? Oh, so the look above and fail works in all time frames, and if you're a larger player, larger trader, you could hold that trade, as he did and cover on the gap down. So we're watching 53.42. The low has been 40. We did a look below and fail of that back up, and we're watching that overnight low. Now we only have 2 days of short-term inventory above us. We have a ton of longer-term inventory above us. But let's see what happens um, today. I'm noticing our overnight inventory is 100% short, and the market is still, if you go and look at the 1 minute candle chart, you'll see that there was like a wall of selling. If you notice these things, now profile is great, but one thing about a candle chart, you can see when there is a wall of sellers. Like, look at this 1 minute candle. For the last, I don't know, all of these hours, every time we got above 53.94, the sellers stepped in. And every time we got above 53.94, there's like a wall of selling. Everyone was competing, sitting there selling, 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 until all the people they sold to started to puke, and we're getting that lower. So even though inventory on the session is short, the short-term inventory is above us, and that is creating resistance lower, okay? Now, one thing you kind of have to be careful of are things like this. And this happened earlier in the morning. We had that huge 50-point candle, and that was kind of ugly. That was really ugly. Um, and I spoke to somebody who was trading without a stop, and they had a short at 53.52, and then we had a 50 handle candle to the upside in a minute. Took out his account. Now, good thing it was only an evaluation or, one of those prop accounts, right? It wasn't his real money. But, yeah, no stops in this market, right? F around and find out. I mean, you are going to get, all it takes is one of those. And if you're trading your own money, right? Yeah, you barely want to put risk on with the book this thin, right? The order book being this thin, and one piece of news can clear out an order book to the tune of 50 points. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are trading without a stop, why don't you just send us the money? We'll at least have a good time with it. Okay? It's insane, right? And if you're trading your own money and you have like $100,000 account and you've got a little bit of size on, your account is gone, right? It would actually be slower to burn the money, right? It would actually take some time to burn $100,000. Your money is gone in 60 seconds, right? It's crazy. So do not trade without stops, okay? Learn from other people, right? And don't be stubborn in this market, okay? Because this, now here's the thing. This is what we got to watch out for. This might be the new normal. If they don't resolve what's going on, right? If they don't resolve what's going on, stuff like this could be the new normal, right? And if this is the new normal, you better not overtrade. Don't get lazy, right? I don't like preaching. I hate preaching. I wish I could come in and just tell people, okay, this is the game plan. But we're dealing with, a lot of new traders, and they just don't understand what risk management is until all their money is gone. And I think it happens so fast that they still don't even understand after the fact. They're like, but, and you're like, right? No. You don't need to don't get tinfoil hat, Mark. It's not insider trading. What I'm saying is, in electronic trading, the order book that cushions the blow of the move empties itself out very quickly. So if you drop a big buy order in, and their sell orders, all those sell orders will evaporate instantly, right? That's what causes a big 50-point candle. You guys don't understand what the concept of a thin order book is. See, a thick order book is like a big ocean. So if you go and drop a boulder in the ocean, it's not really going to do much. But if you go drop a big rock in a tiny pond of water, it's going to displace a lot of water, and that's exactly what's going on in this market. So all it takes is one headline. Oh, one big order can actually bankrupt people. They need to hire you to move some paper. Hey, Omni, BMO should 40, 20 to 40,000 shares a day. That's You're like, hey, you want me to wash trade this thing for you? No, just kidding, just joking. Bring some volume in. That's pretty brutal. A lot of these markets are so thinly traded, you know. Uh, so anyway, folks, please use stops and be careful, right? Be careful in this market, right? And I would highly recommend that newer traders don't trade their own money. This is the perfect time to take advantage of funded traded accounts and use other people's money to trade at this time, right? Go for those, take profit, apex deals, right? Steve knows them, so talk to him. We have people who do that stuff. It's learn how to trade with some discipline and don't use your own money in this market, right? If you had $5,000 and you didn't have a stop in your account, your $5,000's gone, right? If you were trading the mini, gone, right? 50 points. Why? Right? So what I'm looking for is 53.42. Can we hold 53.42 on the overnight low? So one thing at this was kind of a strange, very strange move, because check this out. Okay? Now I know you guys don't think like this, so I'm going to sort of spell it out. Okay? The market liquidated. So we have all this liquidating inventory, right? And it was all down here. It was being acquired, right? And then you get this big chunk of news, and there was distribution above 53.80 for hours. Now we're finally coming back down to this cost basis here, right? So if you understand how markets work, you have liquidating inventory, and then you have the disposal of that inventory. Quite, quite a beautiful thing that the dealers that were long under 53.70 were able to blow off their inventory up here even before the market opens. So, but the overall inventory of the night is short because it's all under yesterday's close. But short term, we're seeing selling pressure. So let's see if we come back down to this 53.46 level. That's what I'm looking at on the open. Now, the other thing is, this market has had an annoying habit lately for the last 2 or 3 days of just when it's starting to get to a low that you're thinking about shorting, or you just entered into a short, and all of a sudden the sellers just disappear and you get a nice big huge candle to the upside to stop you out. You guys notice that? Anyone? Bueller? It was happening yesterday. Happened the day before. No? Okay. Let's see if that continues to happen today. If that does not continue to happen, we'll be looking for lower prices. That means the short sellers who are covering, they are like our canary in the coal mine. They're like the metal detector. They tell us where the sellers are desperately trying to get out of their product, or they're playing hard to get with their product. So if the sellers are playing hard to get with their product, it'll sell off and then bounce violently. If the sellers are desperate to get out of their product and undercut each other in price, the short sellers who are trying to buy it back will drop their bids, like here, right? They'll drop their bids and take advantage of the fact that someone's desperate to sell, right? Makes sense. Watch for that on the open today. Okay? we're going to be opening on a gap down. A gap down means change, right? The change is prices are greatly discounted from the previous day, which means sellers are anxious to get rid of their inventory, right? So let's see how this market opens. We'll have some references. So if we open, for example, if you're a pure market profile trader, right? 53.77 and 3/4. Those are your upper stops. The lower stops will be 66.5. So if the market opens here at 73 and you're long, that's your first target. Okay? And if you're short, that's your first target. That's where the stops are. Okay? I like to use the candles because the candles really keep me from getting into trouble. Right? Because there I don't have an entry here. So with the candles would give me that look below and fail, which I like. Or the look above and fail. In the middle, I don't mess around. Not in this market. Right? You have to adapt how you trade according to the market that you're trading. Right? And this market is full of surprises. It's full of surprises. Sorry, one sec. So I'm short biased. If you're shorting this thing, right? How many of you are short? You can see that the sellers are competing at different prices. And as it comes down, you're looking for this 64 area, 53.64. Use at 9:45. Thanks, team. Oh, boy. Excuse me. 9:15 capacity utilization. Business inventories at 10. Oh, there's a Fed president speaking. Oh, and Powell's speaking at 1:30. Oh, lovely. I'll make sure I'm away from the screen. When Powell's speaking, it's time to take a break. Yeah, we'll see where the let's see where the bid is. We're going to find the bid. That'll be the first thing to do this morning. Right? And the bid is where the seller shuts off. Very simple. Yeah, 88 would have been a nice short. It was very choppy here. I did a one-on-one earlier, and then I just walked away from the computer. I was like, this is too choppy. I can't trade this. It's not for me. 88 was during the news, right? Yeah, there it is. You can see the sellers are continuously pushing price lower. So now I'm looking for 64. There we go, 65. It'll start kind of slowing a little bit as it comes into the level. Hey, Jaden. Oh, for me, this was too choppy to execute, Puck Hog. Right? Like when I see the market going back and forth over something like this, and it's just choppy like this, I like nice, clean trades. Like I'm looking for a look above and fail or a look below and fail. And when I see it kind of chop around like this, I'm probably going to, like if I traded, honestly, I would get stopped out 3 or 4 times here, and then that trade would work, right? And by that time that happens, I'll have tired myself out here. So I just tend not to trade when it goes back and forth over the edge of a zone. I want a nice clean move. Now in a perfect world, when it came underneath 88, right, there were a lot of times that in the morning, in the early morning, I'd try to short and put my stop here and I'd get stopped out. This is the one time it worked. And would I have been actually able to get that trade after getting stopped out a bunch of times here? Probably not. So that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to be realistic, and then I'm also trying to say if it's chopping back and forth over the edge of one of my balance levels, I'll tend to leave it alone. Does that make sense? Cool. The only trades I look for are a look below and fail and a look above and fail. And in this market, I'm just really, really not trading much at all. I'm being very careful. Yesterday was okay. Today in Globex, when we got that 1 minute 50 point candle, I was like, you know, this market's going to take some time to fix. Like, let me ask you guys something, right? Let me bring your attention to something. Okay? I want to see, I want to see exactly what kind of situational awareness is out there. Now, what day was this? It was Wednesday. Exactly 1 week ago. 1 week ago, we had a market with a 500 point range. Now, do you not find that a bit odd? It's a bit odd, isn't it? Yes? No? It's not something you see every day, right? Okay, thank you. Right? Okay? So, would it make sense that after you have a day with a 500 point range, in the span of 1 week, with a weekend in between, so in the span of 5 trading days, would you think that business is all of a sudden back to normal after an event like that? In just a week, everything's all back to normal. That was just like a bad dream. Do you guys see where I'm going with this? Right? Where I'm going with this is this stuff's not over yet. The drama's not over. We're in Act 2, right, of the play, right? The first act was the liquidation, right? The second act is the big bounce that we just had. And we're coming to the end of Act 2, right? So, like a good theater goer, instead of trying to yell at the actors and tell them what to do, maybe we should just sit back and watch a little bit more, right? Nothing is settled, right? So, let's see what happens. Now, okay, that's great. It's a great speech, JJ. Get on your soapbox. What the hell does it mean for me, the retail trader? Well, it means that you're going to trade less and you're going to lower your expectations. Because when you see big ranges and strange events happen, you shouldn't get greedy. Right? You should use that thing that sits on top of your shoulders. Right? So when things get very strange, you should kind of go, hey, here's something's a little different here. What's going on? Right? Maybe we should just kind of sit back and take a bit of a chill pill here and, see if we can, maybe we'll take a few trades here and there, but, if it starts getting really choppy or really difficult, we'll sit out. You know what I mean? I have no idea what he's talking about, Kevin. Not a clue. And the other thing too is, Kevin, total truth. Even if I knew what Powell was talking about, I don't know how the hell to trade that. Right? So no matter what the news is, and no matter what these guys are saying, I can't figure out to take the news and trade it, or to predict what he's going to say and trade. Give me a break. Really? That's why I stick to the look below and fail, the look above and fail. Right? My trades are based on simplicity. When we run out of supply, I buy a little supply, and then I sell into the strength that is created. When the market goes looking for supply, price goes up, you sell into it. It's not rocket science. Right? When I see too much supply and I see traders and wholesalers marking down price and competing to get out of product, I'll short. Right? If it's too choppy, I won't short. Right? And that's really it. This is the environment where, I will wait for my setup. And when my setup comes, I'll take it. And if I get stopped out, it means I get stopped out and I sit back and I go, okay, am I trading too early? Am I being too eager? Right? Or is it just one bad trade? Hey, David. Now let's see if we hold the 64s. Remember that we're opening on a gap down. There's supply above us. People will be liquidating. There'll be some margin call selling. All of that sort of good stuff. Let's see where we find the bid this morning. So if you are buying the 64s on a look below and fail, to all my traders who are trying to do that, I want you to remember that there's going to be a seller at 66, right? And there's going to be a seller if we get past 66, right? So put your offers out. If your offers don't get taken, nobody wants to buy your contracts. Very simple. For 2 points, Fred, yeah. Right here, Look below and fail of 64, up to 66. 2 points, 2 micros. But I know there's going to be a seller right there. There it is. Told you. Now we're open. We're going to get some buyers in that opening auction. Good, good, good. Nice. Next set of sellers are going to be at 80. I sold too soon. I forgot that we were opening. I wasn't watching the time, Fred. My discipline's a little lacking. See? Told you there'd be a seller at 80, and there they are. That's where they initiated last time. Right? It's amazing how much this 1 minute candle chart will tell you. It's really quite amazing. Let's see if we come back, if we hold this 72 level. Nope. We're coming right back into that cost basis, looking for 64 again. Long 68. I'm getting rid of them here. There we go. Didn't have the best trade location on that 68 long, but thank God the order flow was kind to me. Now let's see if we have that 80 seller again. Once we clean out those 80s, 84 is where you're looking at. There's the seller at 80 again. And I don't know, as we keep streaming on YouTube, we keep attracting people. If you're going to comment in the comment section, we invite your comments. Try and be polite. If you're a savage and you can't be polite, you know what to do. Okay? Just saying. All right. Hey, JR, what's going on? Now, if we catch a bid, looking for 84, and then to the top of the zone at 88. Can you guys hear? Says the microphone's working. Thanks. Good stuff. So what we're going to do here is we're taking, market's acting normally, we're taking this inventory, we're getting rid of it here. So if this price action brings stability, it'll bring buyers, and we'll look for 84 and then around 88 on the upside. Overnight point of control is up there at 88. Hey, Zazu, what's going on? Remember, Friday's a holiday, so get your wires in tomorrow. Let's see. I changed my balance level since it was not working anymore. On the new balance zone, the setup, which was select behavior and fail over colored zone, was on my new zone. A look behave below and fail of the middle of balance. Cass, I'm sorry. I might be a little out to lunch, but I don't understand what you're saying. I don't understand the statement or the question. Sorry. This is a little bit of distribution balance. Well, accumulation is buying, right, NFT Bandit? So you accumulate to sell stuff higher, right? So have you ever, it's really not a thing in the market to do that, NFT. The market is to, like Walmart or Safeway or Piggly Wiggly or Albertsons or wherever you do your shopping, right? They buy bread at one price and they sell it to you at another to make a profit. That's why it's a market. People don't accumulate large positions and push price lower. Price gets pushed lower by sellers who compete. And sellers compete in lower price to offload their inventory, right? So NFT, if you were selling donuts, you'd put your stale donuts on sale so you could get rid of them, right? Does that make sense? Short selling is for liquidity, right? So a market maker will short you something if they don't have it so you can get your order at the price you want, if it's possible. Are you trying to say that your look below and fail was in the middle of a zone instead of the edge of a zone, Cass? I'm sorry. Why don't you just DM me and write out the whole thing as a question, and then I'll be able to help, okay? Hey, Real, that's actually really smart that you're saying that. When you first start trading, not everybody is going to be able to execute this type of price action, right? Hey, Cass, email, just DM me, okay? Right? Kind of firebombing the chat. If you just DM me, I'll be happy to help you on X, okay? Just write it out in a paragraph so I can understand what you're saying, and I'll be happy to help you, okay? Because I'm not quite getting the gist of the question. Sorry. All right. Look above and fail of 88. Looking for 76. Can't get down to 76, which is the middle of the zone, so they stop selling. Now let's see if we can get back up to 88. There's 88. Seller steps in at 88. No, the seller is okay. Let's close your eyes and time to pretend you're a seller, Herb. Say you're a seller at 53.80 and you have 1,000 contracts for sale, and you're competing with Cass and with JR and with whoever else. Okay? So say you see a whole bunch of buyers coming in. Then you're going to move your sell order from 80 to 81 to 82 to 83. So the new buyers come in and you charge them more, right? So the seller has seen buyers and will raise price. That's all it is. Right? So if they're a constant seller at 80 and then all of a sudden it's trading 81, 82, it means the sellers have seen bids. Yeah, you see buyers and you take advantage of the fact that buyers are willing to pay more. Make them chase the price higher, right? Remember how retail traders chase price. Pretend you're the one who's making people chase. Put yourself in the shoes of somebody who's holding the string and you're trying to grab the string, right? It's just the business, right? See, the thing is, in retail trading and the way this environment is, looking for 72 now. Now we took out 76. Let's see if we accept under 76, look for 72, 71. The thing about retail trading is that we're very disconnected from the business itself, right? All you see is a chart and numbers and things moving around, but it does not convey what's going on behind the scenes. So then people say, oh, it's just random, which is the biggest load of BS I've ever heard, right? Tell that to the guy who's trying to buy 5 million shares of Microsoft or sell 5 million shares of Microsoft. There is nothing random about that, right? People don't arbitrarily put buy and sell orders in a market for fun. But it costs a lot of money. Like, you have to think about it. There's no such thing, right? So we disconnect ourselves from, in the old days, you wouldn't, here we're just trading around little electronic ones and zeros, right? Before that, it was little pieces of paper, right? But in the old days, if you were a trader, you'd be trading spices, or you'd be trading rugs, or you'd be trading cattle or something. There'd be something you could see, and this would be a price chart to tell you how those sales are going. And then you'd also have to know where your competition is priced at, right? If you're trying to sell, 5,000 pieces of some spice, right, or pounds of spice, then you need to know where your competition is so you can undercut them and capture the client, right? You are a merchant, right? We are just very disconnected from that process because all you see is a candle moving up and down or some numbers on a screen. So it disconnects us from the actual process of markets, which is why so many people have trouble visualizing what the hell's going on. And that's why people come up with all these cockamamie theories about liquidity sweeps and umbrella this and, I don't know, deep pool, dark pool, dead pool, all this crap, right? No, the seller's not going to go away. They're just going to sell at a higher price and make more money because that's what capitalism is about. It's just commerce, right? It's just commerce. And right now, the commerce that's taking place is that we are just distributing, right? Just distributing. Here's where we bought the cheap crap. Here's where we're selling it. This is the difference. That's profit. Now, if nobody wants to buy it here, we'll put it on sale back to where we bought it. And if things get really bad, then we're going to have to discount it. Right? That's all it is. Take the mystery of these charts away. They're just sales charts. Right? They're just sales charts. That's all it is. Nothing more. See how we ran out of buyers above 80? So the sellers are competing and going, no, I'll give you 76. Then some buyers come in at 76. Let's see if they'll pay 77. Right? That's all it is. I would really suggest in this market, spend some time watching. Spend a lot more time watching than hunting for a trade, right? Especially days like today. Tomorrow is the last trading day, right? Friday is a holiday. So they're going to try and compress 5 working days into 4. So sometimes things get a little ugly, you know. See how we stop selling when we come down to 72? You guys notice that? This is, in fact, ES, Sean. It is indeed. Right now, what's going on? Attention Kmart shoppers, right? We're having a sale down to 70. Let's see if 64 holds, right? So we had distribution. We're back into the accumulation area. And if we really have to get rid of product, we'll put it on sale underneath 64. Notice how when the market comes down to the open, it kind of stops selling and bounces up. We saw a lot of that yesterday. We saw a lot of that. Right? You really do not want to be shorting in cost basis. And that's another thing that my guy got into trouble with this morning. He was shorting at the cost basis. Right? That's where everybody stopped selling. He was sitting there shorting there. And then that big candle happened. Don't short when it gets down to the cost basis. If you missed it, don't worry. There might be another look below and fail. Right? See how, let's see if the next candle can take out that candle low. There we go. See, it can't. Because they stopped selling right where they bought it. They won't sell it underneath that candle low unless they have to. Right? There's no reason to sell underneath that low unless you have to. And the only reason that you have to is that there is competition. You guys get that? So competition forces traders to sell at lower prices. They're forced to put it on sale. Right? That's where you get that trend line. Right? So don't try and buy it now. Let them work this out. The best trade for a new trader is the look below and fail, or the fail to take out 64. But give it some time, because when you come back to the loading dock, it takes some time to unload the trucks and see what's in them. There's 64. We take out that X low, boom. Right, we've got inventory above us, so don't be too eager to buy it until it proves itself to you. Because it takes out that A low, right? The next stop's all the way down at 42 structurally. So just take it slow. So if you're long, if you want to go long, right? See, these candles are so damn big. You got to grab them underneath 68. But you know there's going to be that seller here again, right? Because they were there before. Let's see if it can move back down on us and get us a better price on a long. Bastard, no. All right, give it some time. Give it some time. Don't chase it. Come on. Don't be so greedy. Come back under 70. Come on. Yeah, might have missed that one. But that's the look below and fail. And I missed it. Fair play. I missed that. I was honestly thinking that there was going to be more selling. I thought it'd at least get another minute to buy some underneath 68. But I was wrong. Wasn't the first time, won't be the last. All right. Now let's see, as it comes in, let's see what that next candle does. Let's see if we can get a little at 66, sell it at 68.5. Yeah, 66 to 68.5. Just a quick scalp. That was only just one contract to see whether my brain was working. Now, if this candle can't take out, it's going to rotate higher. Right? But we got a seller at 68. Good to know. Let's see if we can clean that seller out and make him sell higher. Right? There's a seller right there. So they need to see buyers to lift price. You guys understand what I'm talking about? Everyone's quiet now. Everyone trading? Yeah, that seller. Okay. Let it drop. There's a lot of inventory above us. Let it drop. So now, if I miss a short, I'm not going to take a short here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to either wait for this or this. And I think I should just be patient and we'll see if we can do a look below and fail at 52. Those who got short, congratulations. I didn't see it at the time. And if you decide to enter short, if it starts getting back over 64, 65, be careful, okay? These candles really don't leave you a lot of room for error. You know, you get like a 6-point candle, and that's just a normal candle, not even a big one. Right? So those of you who are shorting, your out is set 65 level. Okay, so you know your risk. Now we're in the middle of the zone. And if we accept under 58, you can stay short down to the 52, 53 level, which is right here. Am I buying and selling quickly? Yes. Well, I don't hold. I don't hold trades. And I teach people how to scalp. I teach people that to get them to be able to learn how to think quickly and react quickly and get out of bad trades quickly. What level is that, Dubs? I don't. Eyes are getting old. There's 52. Let's see if that 52 level holds. Long 53 and a quarter, out 56 and a quarter. Look below and fail. Right. Quick. I'm a quick trader. In this market, I'd rather do a couple of quick trades and be done. In a market where you have a 50-point 1 minute candle, I don't really feel comfortable holding. That's just me, though. Everybody should trade their own risk tolerance and their own style. Yeah. Remember what I was telling you guys? Looking for 53.42 on the downside and to see if we can hold that overnight low. Yeah, that's up to you, digital. If you want to hold it and do make all your money in one trade and be done with the day, have at her. What's up, Taco? How you doing? You do have some style, Aubrey. You do indeed. Nice. Well done. Beautiful trade. Look below and fail at 52 again. This time you're probably going to see sellers around 57. Good to see you, Taco. Yeah, everybody should trade according, it's like your lifestyle. I like to do a couple of trades, make some money, and then go do other things. Some people are young and they're just starting out, and or they want to get on a prop desk, right? So now we ran out of supply underneath 52. We're rotating up to 58. Let's see if we can get past that 57 seller, and if we can, you'll be looking at 64 again. Right? Good trades, all of you who are short on the way down. I myself, if I miss the short, and often I do, because I'll be talking and I'll miss the short. So what I like is the counter inventory correction trade, and that's the look below and fail. Have a good one, Digital. Get some sun for me. Go to the beach for me. It is not sunny here in Liverpool this morning, that's for sure. Nice work, Dubs. Nice work. Good, good, good. How's everybody else doing? Gosh, and we're still in A period. A period is market profile talk for the first half hour. I don't know about you guys, but the half hour periods in this market feel longer and longer and longer. Nice work, network. Nice work. Hey, Etienne. Salut. Okay, now what's gonna happen? I don't know. I'm short biased here, but let's see. Does the order flow prove me right? Let's see if we can do 50 to maybe 46. Come on. There we go. Come on. Come on. Come on. we go. 48. Come on, one more tick. Boom, there's 46. Yeah, you want to front run that overnight low, right? Avoid the competition, right, Aubrey? Nice. All right, B period is here. Let's see, what are they going to show us? Well, JR, that is that is something for sure. And I completely agree with you on that. After a couple of moves, like you watch these last week, you'd see these moves and it kind of messes with your confidence, right? It's not just you. I find myself sometimes hesitating a lot more in the last 2 weeks than I usually do, right? And that's just your spider sense going, yeah. But sometimes you can over hesitate. So that's why you got to really, really trust the process. And it's so hard to do with candles that are so big in a 1 minute time frame. You're not the only one. You're not the only one. I'll be like, and then that hesitation, that doubt, that hesitation, that gets you. But you just work your way through it. You're not alone. I've been trading for 33 years. You are not alone, right? And I'm even more hesitant sometimes when it comes to trading like my clients' money. Like I'm just I hate losing other people's money, so I'm like sometimes I'll over hesitate. It happens, but if you're aware of it, you just work on it. You know. Hey, truth. Yeah, and if anybody in the room needs help with risk management, Taco's your guy. That would be nice if we just kind of built a nice back and forth range down here for a little while. Let's see what happens. I have traded a lot less in the last 2 weeks than I usually do. Well, it looks like we're going to chop around here for a little bit and maybe do some accumulation balance. Let's see. Yeah, exactly, TJ. Sound advice, Aubrey. So you make sure you get your commission from Citadel, okay? Ugh. So if you are long, I don't like this price action. It's too choppy for me. I'll wait a bit. I've taken a couple of scalps. You're looking for 58. If you're doing the look below it fail of 52, it's cleaning, Mark. So you have all that inventory that's long over 64. They're selling out. Goes into short sellers' hands, then wholesale hands. Now retail comes and buys. And look, we just hit the red line, right? Where I said there's going to be a seller. The seller steps in. Now, if those sellers where we are right now, if they see a lot of buyers, they'll lift their price up to 62, 63. I'm not short biased right now. I was short biased. Now I'm just kind of waiting for the market to tell me what's next. What changed my bias? Liquidation. Liquidation. Add this. Add the failure to get down to that 42 level. Failure to take out the overnight low. I might be a little, you know, I might be early, but I wouldn't want to be shorting right now. I want to see a sign of a seller, right? I want to see the offer come down underneath 60. I want to see us look above and fail 64, right? But right now I don't see sellers competing because price is going higher. Make sense? Bias is a really big problem for me. So I always have to keep looking to see, okay, am I short biased? What's the market telling me? Oh, price is going up. So hang on a second, right? And my perfect state of being is not to have a bias, right? My perfect state of being is to not know what the hell is going on and let the market show me. And then I can react. Well, if you were short at 65, you had a beautiful trade down to the 52s, 48s. See, nothing is telling me to be short biased now. Right? Maybe a look above and fail of 64, so you short 63, but you want to put some covering bids here before 58. Let's see if it's a really two-sided market, right? So if you were short 62 against 64 as your stop, you're looking for 58 to cover one or 59, and if you can't get under 58, it's going to rotate back up, so be careful. See what I mean? Sticky, eh? The price action? Really sticky. JJ, are you an LFC supporter? I don't know anything about soccer. I know they got two teams here, and It's best not to get into an argument about it. Sticky as in good? Sticky as in it's not smooth, right? But that's okay, right? You got to adapt to the price action. So the look above and fail of 64 down to 58 worked for 2 minutes. Now let's see if we sell under 58 again. That's why I really like trading at the edges. Like here, here, I missed that one. Or look above and fail. Now let's see if we get back above 64. Yeah, not that kind of sticky AZS. Not sticky icky. Come on under 58. Come on. Come on. There we go. Come on. Aggressive seller. Come on. Where are you? Sell them down. Let's show these folks what rotation's about. That'd be nice if we just set up a nice rotation. Back and forth. And we could just trade like this. I love that. That's perfect. Right? So you can just manage your risk really nicely. You trade at the edge of your zone from outside in. No drama. That's my favorite kind of trading. These rotations are getting a little smaller, so we're having a bit of a lull in business right now. Right? So business is a little slow. So the wholesalers are doing what they can to make money. Now let's see what the next move is. Right, we have sellers at 64. See? Oh boy, oh boy. Right? Eventually, in these markets, because we have inventory above us, eventually they just make you wait for a short. I like it when you short and it drops, right? I hate this. You short and then you gotta wait and it does this. Come on, just drop already. I'm impatient that way. That's kind of what I meant by sticky buying. Because every time it sells off, it finds bids, it finds bids, it finds bids, then it pops back up. So the best way to trade that is if you are shorting against a level, you just put your stop at that level, put your buy orders in, and then I guess you just got to wait till the market hits your buy order. Now, what I've got going on in the back of my head, now this is something I'll share with you guys, is in the back of my head, I'm waiting for that big green candle. Like, where is the big buyer going to come in? The order book thins, and all of a sudden it rips up, right? Because I've seen that happen a couple of times, and so it's kind of always in the back of my mind. If I'm a short seller, I'm always looking for that offer to keep lowering and lowering and lowering. But when it comes down and bounces and comes down and bounces, that price action, you know what? That's the same price action as when a market kind of grinds higher slowly and slowly and everyone's shorting it and it keeps going higher and higher and higher and higher. It's the same thing with this, except the opposite. So, got to remind myself to be a bit more disciplined and not get sucked into the price action so much. Right? We all have back and forth doubt going in our heads when we're trading, right? It's always a thing. No look below and fail at 52 yet. Wait till the market finds the bid if you're looking to go long. I'm hoping we get a nice rotation. Really, you have to remind yourself, Christian, like I did just now, right? Because I was getting sucked into the price action. You know, in my head, I was like, I should be shorting the 60s against 64, right? 61, 62 against 64. I should have put that trade on. Why didn't I put that trade on? Because I didn't trust the price action. You know, that's something I need to work on, right? The other thing that I'm well aware of is that my discipline as we come into this week is coming to the end of the week is starting to drift off, right? So when my discipline starts to lift off, I start to get sloppy, right? And a sloppy trader is a dead trader, right? A sloppy trader or desperate trader, that's just the kiss of death. So if I find myself drifting off, not being really on it, I will stop trading, right? First thing I do, right? You don't trust the A low? Well, we took out the A low, Aubrey, so what about the B low? What's your trust factor in the B low like? Mine's not really that good right now. I don't trust the overnight low either, LC. Right? I'm just thinking it's a matter of time, right? I always feel better after they go and bang out a low and see what's lurking down there. And this was a perfect trade that I didn't take because I was undisciplined. When it did that, I should have been shorting 62, right? 60 to 62. My stop above 64. Put some bids under 58. Put some bids under 56. And then covered it as it went down. Right? The look below and fail of the overnight low, I like that trade. Hey, nice work, Chris. Well done. Now kind of cool your jets, right? You're up. That's a good day. That's a good day, brother. Now just keep that money, all right? Don't give it back. Nicely done. Beautiful. Good, good. Right now, I'm seeing that there's a seller at 32. I mean, 53, 52. And I don't want to overtrade. I also have 10 minutes left with you guys. So, yeah, I've been up since 5 in the morning. It's 3 in the afternoon now. So maybe it's time for me to take a walk. I have to do another coaching session in a half an hour. So maybe I'll just chill out on the trading for a bit. So remember, folks who are in the coaching class, we do have an 11 a.m. week 3. That's one thing I've learned about myself is if I'm unfocused or undisciplined, I will lose money. I'm not one of those guys who unfortunately can just take crappy trades off the cuff and get away with it. I never ever get away with it. Like, you know how some people, like, they fall into a trade or they fat finger a trade or they're just screwing around and they end up making money? That never happens for me. Never ever ever. How does hindsight trading analysis help my trading? It's always good to know where you made mistakes, Fred. It's always good to analyze the day, journal where you went wrong, see where you're lacking, you're lacking confidence. Sometimes you're lacking discipline. All of those things. The whole thing is trying to learn from your mistakes, right? Look below and fail at 52 finally worked. Took what, 4 minutes to clean out 52. Hmm. There we go. So we do have a rotation. We do have a nice little rotation from the 50s up to 60. Let's see if we can get back up to 64. The different color levels are where the inventory was acquired and then sold at 2 times profit is green, 4 times profit is purple. The discount zone is red. So that just helps me keep track of number one price targets. And the other one would be to help me maintain some sort of situational awareness, not trying to buy too high. A script for the zones? No, I do it manually every morning. If you look at the YouTube videos, you'll see how I do them. Would I participate in the Robbins Cup? Was that a curling match? Sorry. I don't know what the Robbins Cup is. Sorry. I don't know. It's a trading contest? No, I don't know anything about trading contests. Sorry. I didn't mean to make light of it. No disrespect. But when you said the Robbins Cup, it just kind of took me like, like Scott Tournament of Hearts, for curling. Yeah, I don't know anything about contests and things like that. I I'm a paper hanger, okay, guys? Right? I was I was the guy you never even heard about. When you're buying that penny stock and it just keeps going lower and lower and lower, I'm the guy selling it to you. Right? You buy 1,000 shares, I'm selling 100 million. Right? That's my whole life has been a liquidator. Right? I'm Larry the Liquidator. So all of this all of this sort of competition and contests, that's I don't do all that stuff. My thing is a client entrusts me with 2 years of their deal to help them liquidate 100, 200 million shares over 24 months and make a market so they can sell 100, 200 million shares worth of stock into that market. That's what I do for a living, right? I'm just doing this to try and teach and kind of correct my karma, right? But I have no ego in this at all, right? So competitions, they're way better traders than me, right? And when I start doing deals again, I might hire them to be executing traders. But prop traders are really not good executing traders for insiders because that's all about relationships, right? And understanding how to sell stock into retail buying. So back over 64, if you are long, you're looking for 70. Yeah, I'm a little bit different. I didn't learn how to trade the way normal people do. I learned how to trade by selling stock for company insiders. The karma piece? Well, I figure for 20 years, all I did was dump worthless stock onto the U.S. markets, right? Made my clients hundreds of millions of dollars. But so I'm just trying to give back a little bit and teach people, you know? Because in the old days, like, how people think, okay, broker's going to call and client's going to say, well, should I buy this stock? Should I buy that? My clients put 50 million shares of stock into 4 or 5 accounts offshore. I manage them, and they ask me 2 questions at the end of the day. JJ, how much volume did the stock trade? It traded 10 million shares. How much did we sell? 3 million shares. Well done, kid. Talk to you tomorrow. Click. That's it. That's all I do. What did it trade? How much did I sell? Have a good night. Those are the 2 questions my client asks. They don't ask anything else. They don't care what price we sold it at because they usually got it for free or they got it for 0.001 cent. Once again, he who has the lowest cost basis wins. That's why I like trading futures because there's nobody like me dumping zero cost or cheap stock into this market. Right? The cost basis in a futures market is much more fair. So, right, you have a better shot. That's why it's better to learn to trade the micro versus trading penny stocks. Right? Anywho, right? Learn how to trade a regulated product. Don't ever buy penny stock. Penny stocks are meant to be sold, not bought. And why would you buy a stock if you can get it for free? Right? There's no use buying stock if you can get it for free. Right? Learn how to trade a regulated product like a futures product. It'll serve you much better. You take all the cost basis risk. Alrighty, folks. You guys stay out of trouble. I will see you again in the morning. Little look below and fail of 64. Let's see if we can get it back up to 70. Trade safe out there, and remember, Powell is speaking at 1:30, so remember, do not take candy from strange market makers. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you. Bye for now.